Howdy friends and folks, it's Trestle, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the rundown on my Dragon Knight build. I believe it's finally completed, and without any further ado, let's get right into it. Obviously, Dragon Communion Seal. Boost Dragon Communion incantations, which is good, even though that's not even the main part of this build. It's not the main reason we're using this seal. The real main reason we're using the seal is because of the arcane scaling, because you have to invest like 28 levels into arcane, and it's better to use this seal than waste those 28 levels on a pure faith scaling catalyst or seal. Azur's Glintstone Staff. It gives you plus 40 virtual like dex for casting speed. So even when it's in your offhand, and even when you're casting incantations. So I mean, that's just always good casting speed. It's just what you want. Same. That's why we have Radagon's Icon, which will give us 30 more casting speed, which will put us at the soft. Or I mean, it's just the card cap. I'm pretty sure it's 70. So 30 plus 40, 70. So we're at the max casting speed. We have Altered Banished Knight Helm, Banished Knight Armor, Bull Goats Gauntlets, and Banished Knight Greaves for fashion. And it also gets us over the 60 poise, so we can poise through like two-handed or dual-wielded standard weapons like crossbeam naginatas, as long as they don't bleed you, or like curved swords, straight swords, daggers, smaller weapons like that, which is good. Crimson Ammo Medallion, because we have 55 Vigor, because this build is really, really hungry for stats, and this is just going to help us out with getting our health up so we don't get punished for that too hard. America Sword Seal, same reason. We're really starved for stats at 125 for a Faith Arcane build, so we're going to be using this. This also gives us 5 Mind, which is huge, especially since the change in 1.4, I think, is in the change came, when they give you more stamina and FP for Mind and Endurance at lower levels, so this is really solid. Erdtree's Favor +2. It's going to give us the carry weight so we can get over into medium load while having this armor without having to put too many points into endurance. And we only have 23 already. And we already talked about Radagon's Icon. Now, when we're going into our stats, 55 Vigor, you don't really ever want to go below 55. 55 is still stretching it, but because we're starved for this build, it's a hybrid build, it's what I would probably recommend, so you can get your damage stats. 30 mind, you gotta have. I'd say you don't really need any more than 30 mind. This is pretty much the perfect amount. You can pretty much kill somebody within 30 mind pretty easily if you do it right. 23 endurance. It's nice to have endurance, so you don't get punished too hard for like a gills, like flame, or a what's the Grail's Roar. It takes a lot of stamina, and if you don't have stamina, you can't roll out of it immediately. You get punished easier. So it's nice to have endurance while also giving us the carry weight for the poise. Strength is base. Dexterity is base. Intelligence is base, but it has +5 from the America Sword Seal, which is Confessor starting class as well. We have 38 Faith and 45 Arcane, but that's also with the +5, so we actually have 40 Arcane in the 38 or 33 Faith. So those are our stats, and now we can go into just our class here. I think 8 and 6 as your distribution for in between Crimson and Cerulean is probably what I'd go with. You should be able to kill people with 4 bars of 30 FP or 30 mind, right? Which is 173 FP. And in our flask, pretty simple here, just regeneration and Crimson Whirl, very solid. Second life plus constant regeneration, pretty good, especially in those long drawn out invasions. And then we go into spell layout. So, we have Catch Flame at the beginning. Catch Flame's your main melee attack. It's almost the bread and butter. It also chains into Bestial Sling, which is good. Bestial Sling also changes into Catch Flame, so that's very good. Bestial Sling, you could have it as your first slot, because you could have somebody coming in on you. You can hit them with a Bestial Sling into a Catch Flame as they get closer. But I like having the ability to just go straight to Catch Flame. Right, wherever I am, I can just hold up on the D-pad and go straight to Catch Flame. So I have it as first, and I don't really ever have any issue just switching from Bestial Sling to Catch Flame that way either. So I just like it on first. And then we go into Hone Bolt. Hone Bolt patch 1.4 is nasty, guys. It is nasty. The quick cast with it, I mean, it just slays. It's got really good range, really good damage. It's quite fast. Chain cast. That's pretty much all you gotta say. Theodrix's Magma. Oh, this one's so good. So you can chain cast Theodrix's Magma. So using it raw, I wouldn't recommend it. But chain casting it is really good. I mean, so they're in your face. Maybe they're getting ready to space out or something. You're going from maybe a Hone Bolt or like a Catch Flame or a Bestial Sling and they're coming in on you, you can go into Three Addictus Magma, push them off, and as they run away, jump up into our next spell, Shmarg's Glintstone Breath, or a Gil's Flame, depending on whether if they have casted Barrier of Gold or not, which is why we have 2 Dragon Breath spells. I believe Shmarg's is almost always better over a Gil's Flame, unless they have Barrier of Gold on it. It's a fairly common spell, so I like having 2 options. Grell's Roar is a very nice mix-up. People, when they will usually try and get behind you and smack you out of, or jump attack you when you're trying to cast a Dragon like Breath spell. But, you know, a lot of times people don't react to the fact that it's a bigger head and it's Grell's Roar. And you'll get like a 900,000 damage punish on them. And you'll get a lot of space. You can, if you gotta make sure you have endurance though. You know, if you don't have any endurance when you cast it and you're in a really long window where you can't roll out of it. So you gotta be careful with that. Hone Bolt, also be careful if you cast it raw on accident. Same with Three Addictus Magma. If you cast them raw on accident, then the cast time and the recovery time is actually pretty punishing. So you gotta be careful there. Lightning Spear, just really solid, fast, quick downrange damage. It's really good at dealing with Stars of Ruin, other casters. I mean, it can be side strafed and stuff, so it's not gonna be a main source of like long range pressure, but it's more of a counter to other builds. So I really like it. And Oak Flame, it's honestly, it's buff. It just does a lot of damage. Just really solid, up close spell. Yeah, it's got multiple timings. You can charge it. When you charge it, usually does like 1,000 damage from up in front of you. Pretty nice. The back of your catalog here. You know, I just think it's pretty decent. If you are like a buff person, you like doing buffs, I'd recommend like Sacred Oath or maybe Flame Grant Me Strength. And you could probably work with either of those. If you want both of them, you could take off maybe Lightning Spear, although I really like Lightning Spear. You could take off a Gil's Flame maybe if you're not worried about Barrier of Gold. But I'm not really a buff person. I don't really care too much for buffing, so I roll with this. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is, I believe, my current dragon build, the Dragon Knight. I do indeed like its fashion. I think it's pretty solid. We could have been more efficient on the carry weight if we used like Commander's chest piece. You know, Commander's chest piece, it's OP. But I also didn't mind putting some points in endurance because the dragon spells take a lot of endurance. So I didn't really mind. And the fashion is on point. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and peace.